Hello and welcome back to the Quick Slant on Green Bay Packer Nation and greenbaypackernation.com. Today we're discussing a recurring theme that the Packers have dealt with over the past several seasons, so stick around. As always, if you're new here and haven't yet subscribed, we'd love to have you hit that subscribe button and tap that bell notification so you get notified every time we post a new video. The topic of discussion today, and we really want to hear your thoughts on this, is injuries. The Packers are in the middle of their minicamps, and already there are 5 Packers that are injured. Josh Jones and Geronimo Allison both have ankle injuries, which can impact their position, but the other 3 of the 5 injuries are what concerns me even more, and that is Jake Ryan, Kyler Fackrell, and Trevor Davis all have hamstring injuries. The Packers have dealt with hamstring injuries ad nauseum over the past few seasons, and as probably anybody who's had a hamstring injury knows, it's really, really, really difficult to play through that. You know, we've got some tough players, and they will push through a lot of injuries, but a hamstring injury is not only painful, it slows you down, which at the speed the NFL game operates at, any slowdown of any sort really hampers your effectiveness. So the question I have is, what is causing all of these hamstring injuries? Because it's not just the Packers that are dealing with this. NFL teams across the league are struggling with hamstring injuries. There are 2 functions that your hamstring does. 2 things your hamstring functions at. And one is that it flexes the knee and pulls your heel up towards your glutes. That's one. But the one that I think most people forget about is that your hamstring is involved in slowing down your leg as it extends. Your glute extends your quads extend your leg, and your hamstring then slows that acceleration down so that your leg doesn't overextend. If you think back to a lot of the hamstring injuries that you see happen in live play, most of them are, in fact, I can't think of an exception. Most of them are when the leg is extending and the hamstring is trying to hold back that extension. So this kind of brings to my mind a question which I'm sure that Packers coaches, NFL coaches in general, strength and conditioning coaches across the league have contemplated, but the question that pops into my head is, are NFL players too quadriceps strong? There's so much focus on the quads. Squats is all about the quads, and that's one of the lifts that's focused on in the combine and in strength and conditioning, is a lot of squats. You're developing those quads at an insane rate. Are we paying enough attention to the hamstring, which counters the strength of that quad? I don't know. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a strength and conditioning coach, and I'm sure these guys, they're sharp as tacks, and they've thought this through. I'm sure they have reasons why, or I'm sure they've thought through why, whether or not the NFL players are too quad focused. However, that doesn't change the fact that teams across the league are struggling with hamstring injuries. Mark Rosen, who was a former NFL strength and conditioning coach, says that he thinks that the new collective bargaining agreement, while it was intended to protect players and help them avoid these injuries that will be chronic over the course of their life, even after football is over. He says that while the collective bargaining agreement is good in many respects, it has contributed to a rash of hamstring injuries in the NFL. I don't know if that's true, but it brings to mind the question of whether some of the collective bargaining agreement needs to be rethought. I think probably, as far as I'm concerned, the thing about the collective bargaining agreement that has hampered players in their conditioning most is how the collective bargaining agreement minimalizes the amount of contact players can have with their strength and conditioning staff, with their coaching staff during the off season. This kind of leaves the conditioning completely up to players, and while many of them are very adamant about getting their own conditioning coaches who are also very gifted in understanding the human body, I think to some degree they're out there, maybe they're, as Rusin suggests, maybe they're out there just focusing on quad development, and forgetting the muscle that counteracts that quad as their lower leg extends. So I'd like to hear what you think about the hamstring injuries. It seems to be starting all over again, and I'm concerned that it's just going to continue through the season, and it could impact the Packers' season overall. So let me know what you think, and of course, if you have not yet subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button. Share the videos with your friends if you're enjoying them, and I'll put a post to our Patreon account in the show notes. If you want to contribute to our videos via Patreon, certainly would love to have you do that. And until next time, go Pack.